Welcome back to Chicago Independent Television. A growing trend of Border Patrol entertainment TV shows has been described as dehumanizing immigrants because it reinforces myths and does not investigate or accurately report on the issues. Let's hear from Jorge Mujica, who debunks some of the myths about undocumented immigration and shares some stories of a landmark victory for a union of immigrant workers.
Yeah, the idea that immigrants are here to take away jobs is so preposterous. First of all, the ones that really took jobs away from America were the big corporations. I mean, just go ask around Michigan how many automobile plants were closed, shut down, to be taken outside the United States. And we didn't take them. We didn't take a single one of those jobs, and they were 45, 50,000 jobs, I don't know how many. We didn't take the clothing industry, the textile industry outside the United States. We didn't take the shoe industry outside the United States. Those are the jobs that really were taken away from American workers, not the gardener or the cleaner or the, bed maker at a hotel. Those jobs, those are not the jobs that were taken away from anybody. The culture of the United States has led to many people to believe in superiority and inferiority, and that is applied by color of skin, by accent, when you have an accent, and I keep talking against this because go to the Appalachia and let's see if they don't have an accent. I mean, go to Texas and let's see if you understand anybody in Texas. It's not about accents, it's about how to make people different in order to exploit them better. That's the deep root. Yeah, but people don't realize it because nobody's going to tell you that in Fox News. Corporations don't say in Fox News that they want cheap labor. That's what they don't say. What they say is these illegal aliens are invading the country.
The U.S.-Mexico barrier only covers 600 miles of land, so there are many gaps in the border that are open to exploitation.
This is pretty much it. A couple strands of barbed wire.
So in the end, when you have heard 1,000 times that illegal aliens are invading your country, you believe that people that are not exactly white, that people that are a little bit brown, that are shorter than you, that have brown eyes instead of, clear eyes, that are not blonde, they are invading us and they are inferior. They don't have the right to be here because I built this wealth in this nation and I am not going to share it. They don't understand that the wealth in this country was built on the backs of that people in their own countries. You were mentioning NAFTA before, but even before NAFTA, there was the United Fruit in Guatemala, and before that it was the mines in Bolivia, which exported 95% of their product to the United States. So the wealth was built with our natural resources, and that's the wealth they don't want to share now. So the whole culture of the United States leads to that. You are an alien, which is the legal designation for somebody from another land since 1794, I think, and that should be changed because it dehumanizes you. Maybe in the 1800s, alien meant people from other land, but now in the 21st century, alien means green and antennae and Mars and Star Trek and Star Wars and Avatar, and those are not humans. So every time we are called aliens, that means non-human. So you have human rights, I don't because I'm an alien, and that's the prevalent culture in the United States.
We can do this 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, non-stop. Some houses 30 people in the house, some houses 4, some houses 5. It's just a non-stop process, and we come back to my favorite word, epidemic proportion.
The arrested men say they came to the U.S. to seek a better life.
The problem is that there are certain rules for people, not for capital, not for money. Money can move around, cattle can move around, but people get stopped in the border. That's absurd completely. Divide and conquer, that's the line all the time. You know, they pitted Mexican workers in 1920 against American workers in the south side of Chicago because Mexican workers were willing to take any kind of job. So they used Mexicans as scabs in the 1920s, almost 100 years ago, and they keep using it today. You know, you American citizen don't like your job, don't like the pay, leave, and I will hire an illegal alien, an undocumented worker, and I'm going to pay him 1/2 of what I am paying you, and he's going to work twice as hard as you are. So they keep pitting one against each other, and we don't realize that, hey, listen, I'm going to be doing the same job you're doing. Yeah, they want me to replace you. That shouldn't be. We should be together and fight for both jobs and for our race, by the way.
You know, right now, a big barrier to organizing a union are that workers can be threatened with being replaced with undocumented workers. Or if the workers are undocumented, you say, oh, well, the boss will say, don't join a union or I'll report you to the INS or ICE or Homeland Security. And if unions are really serious about growing their membership and having more power in society, they need to embrace all workers. That includes workers who are undocumented. You know, we should not be jingoists. We should not be nationalists. We should support everyone.
Immokalee workers from Florida, they pick the tomatoes for McDonald's, Burger King, and all these big corporations, and they led an incredibly successful fight to raise 1 cent a bucket of tomatoes. I mean, it may sound like nothing to us, but to them is a 10% raise in their salaries. I don't know many people who get a 10% raise in their salary. And they did it, and they are many undocumented workers, some of them documented. The growers of the tomato got involved in the struggle because they also depend on the big corporations like Burger King and McDonald's. I mean, they don't set the prices. McDonald's sets the prices. So the fight was against McDonald's, and the growers agreed and supported their workers. They won by direct action. What we are doing today is a direct action. We are tired of lobbying, sending the fax, calling your congressman, and every time we inquire why the congressman voted against us, they say, oh, well, because you only made 15,000 calls and the other guys made 16,000 calls. So forget about that. We rather go to direct action, and that's what the Immokalee workers did. Direct actions, picket lines, and they finally got McDonald's to give up when they scheduled a big cultural festival and a big action at the headquarters of McDonald's right here in the suburbs of Chicago. The evening prior to the festival, McDonald's called and said, okay, why don't we sit down tomorrow morning? You know, there's no need for this kind of actions. Of course, there was the need for that kind of action. Those kind of actions were what it led to their victory. But they finally ceded, and that's why we keep coming out to the streets, doing, you know, civil disobedience events, etc., because we don't believe in, you know, as immigrants, naturalized, registered to vote, and the day of the election go and vote for the best one, and then lobby the guy in Washington. That takes too long, and it doesn't work. It hasn't worked with immigration reform in 6 years. But this is a broad immigration rights movement, because immigration is not only papers and visas. I keep telling people, listen, if there's immigration reform law tomorrow, that's not going to make the CTA to come more often to the corner where you have to wait every morning to go to work. You know, your papers are not going to raise your salary at work. So you have workers problem, you have public transportation problems, you have education problems, the system of poor neighborhood, poor school keeps perpetuating. Well, that's also immigration movement. So everybody here represents a part of the immigration movement. The war is immigration movement. We have, I don't remember anymore, I didn't keep track, but up to last year, 35,000 soldiers in Iraq who are not U.S. citizens. They are green card holders. We call them the green card soldiers. You know, so the war is immigration movement also. And that's what we have here today, and we're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until we see a solution.
Free trade is like a needle, drawing blood straight from your heart. The border's like a prison, keeping friends apart. Will we open up the borders, tear down the prison walls, declare that no one is illegal, watch the giant as it falls?
Chicago Independent Television is not brought to you by Walmart. There's a reason we're the world's most profitable corporation. We pay our employees peanuts. Learn more at walmartwatch.com. Walmart. Always low wages, always.